my name is Anne Cowling, and I'm a storyteller with Storytelling Alberta. We practice the art of oral storytelling, which means not written. We're a charitable organisation with a mission to spread story in whatever way possible, including with story cafes like this one. These have been tough times. The time of the COVID pandemic has been a period of uncertainty, adjustment, and sorrow. It has also been a time of gratitude, caring, and new discoveries along the way. One of the new discoveries has been the importance of hope in our lives. Hope doesn't solve our problems, but it does in many ways give us the feeling that there is a way out of whatever difficulty is facing us. It allows us to contemplate the future, but still be okay in the present. Tonight, then, we will tell the story of hope with stories. Our tellers will take us on a journey beginning as a starting point with our true and essential selves. Then we will reach out into the unknown, blocking out the naysayers, overcoming adversaries, and, as always, carried forward on the wings of hope. Our final stories will be ones of transformation as we complete the circle back to the beginning of creation. Our first teller tonight is Wendy Edey, who is joining us from Edmonton. Wendy is a counseling psychologist and is also known as the Hope Lady. Her teachings from 2 workshops have been the inspiration for this cafe. And thank you so much, Wendy. She will start us on this journey with the Sufi tale, the stream and the desert. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Wendy Edey.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you, Anne. Tonight, I want to tell you about a stream. This particular stream started its journey at the top of a high mountain. Then it rambled around rocks and it crashed over waterfalls. It fondled its way through forests and meandered in meadows. It roamed around hills and then vaulted into green valleys until, surprisingly, it came to the edge of a very large desert. The stream tried to continue on, but every time it put water into the sand, the water disappeared. The stream was confused. "I don't know what to do," said the stream. "I keep trying to go forward and my water's disappearing." And then the stream heard a voice whispering like the sand of the desert. And the voice said, "Stream, what seems to be the trouble?" "Well," said the stream, I think I'm on the right path. I seem to be on the right journey, but here I am at the edge of this desert, and every time I try to go forward, I lose my water into the sand. I don't know what to do." "Well," said the voice, "perhaps you ought to just try running yourself into the desert. Maybe you'll become a marsh. Maybe things will grow." "Oh, no," said the stream. "If I do that, I will disappear for sure. I'm so confused. I'm sure I'm on the right path. I don't know what to do." "Well," said the sand, "you've always got options, you know. The wind blows a lot around here. Maybe you should ask the wind to carry you across this desert." "Oh, no," said the stream. "I can't be picked up by the wind. I'm a stream. See, I've got water and I'm running, and that's not going to work for me at all." "Well," said the voice, then I guess maybe you'll just have to wait until you think of something else. And so the stream waited. Maybe, said the sand, maybe it's just that you've forgotten your true and essential self. Oh, for heaven's sake, said the stream, look at me, you can see I'm water. And the stream kept on waiting, waiting and waiting. And perhaps she drifted off to sleep because soon, almost as in a dream, she kind of had a distant memory in which the wind scooped her up and started to lift her in the air. And then it was happening, and the wind lifted the stream into the air and flew higher and higher, far and far across the desert, up and up, until the stream was a cloud near the top of a high mountain. And then the wind deposited the stream at the top of the high mountain. And again, for a while, the stream rambled around rocks and rushed over waterfalls, and it went through meadows and across forests and around hills and into green valleys. And for that time, the stream remembered its true and essential self. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have you ever met a hope sucker? You know the sort. We've always done it this way. That'll cost too much. You can't do that. I know that my biggest hope sucker is myself. Here is Wendy again with the fun story, The Blind Men and the Blind Elephants. Wendy?
Thanks again, Anne. I'm particularly sensitive about this story because I myself am a blind person. And so when I first heard the story, I didn't know what to make of it, or at least the first part of the story anyway, which may be familiar to many of you. One time there were 6 blind men, and they wanted to discover what an elephant was like. So they went up to the elephant, and each of them took up a position somewhere around the elephant and conducted an examination of whatever he could reach. And the first one said, well, he felt the elephant's leg, tall and sturdy. And he said, well, surprising, an elephant is like a tree. Now, the second man was actually touching the whole big, broad side of the elephant. And he said, a tree? I think not. This is very large here and flat. I think an elephant is like a wall. Now, a third and very surprised person actually was examining one of the tusks, examining its curve, its point, its hardness. He said, well, really, I don't know what you people are talking about. Really, as far as I can tell, an elephant is like a spear. A fourth was examining the trunk, the curve of it, the length of it. An elephant, he said, is undoubtedly like a snake. The fifth man was touching the elephant's ear, examining its curve, its folds, and he declared, an elephant is like a fan. Now there was only one man left, and he got the tail end of the elephant. Examining the tail, he said, well, there's only one conclusion to reach here. An elephant is like a rope. Well, my goodness, these men began to argue and fight. And in a better world, they might have realized that their differences were great enough that they must be thinking of different parts, and they might have got together to try to figure something out. But this is not what happened. They continued to argue and fight. It's like a tree. No, you idiot. Oh, ball. No, you idiot. It's like a fan. No, a snake. Oh, it's not a snake. It's a rope. Oh, for heaven's sakes, a spear. And on and on and on it went. This great argument in the forest. For all I know, they might be arguing still because it was getting absolutely nowhere. Now, not too far away, it turns out that there were 6 blind elephants. And you know, elephants, they're known to be very intelligent. And so the elephants were discussing what a man is like. And none of them, of course, had ever seen a man, so they did not know. When they heard a very unfamiliar sound, they heard the sound of something moving, and it seemed like it was walking on only 2 feet. They couldn't hear the walking of 4 feet at all. Well, they began to wonder what it was, and so the president of the elephants said, "Excuse me, but what are you?" And the creature with the 2 feet said, "Oh, I'm a man." Well, the elephants were overjoyed, and they decided that they should undertake a thorough examination to discover the nature of a man. And so the president of the elephants took his very, very large hoofs and gave the man a thorough and complete examination, after which he concluded, an elephant is flat. And after that, each of his fellow elephants made a similar examination and confirmed it, and they all agreed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wendy. Hope suckers can definitely leave you flat. Wendy will now give us a little story called Smoker's Defeat. Wendy?
Well, thank you. And you must all have noticed already that this particular cafe has been managed extremely expertly. And this is due to the management skill of both Anne and Doreen Vanderstoep, who manages the technical part of the Zoom of this thing. And I have a great admiration for managers because I once was a middle manager myself. And you know, a middle manager has a certain degree of stress always because you're in the middle, you're accountable to the people above you, and you probably can't accomplish much without the cooperation of the people below you. And you're always in a bit of competition with the people who are alongside of you. Oh, it's not easy being a middle manager. But I was a fairly popular middle manager. I was rather easy to get along with, if I do say so myself. This was back in the 1980s when things were changing a bit. And my friend Liz, my colleague Liz, used to describe me flatteringly in many terms. And one of the things she used to say about me is that she would say, Wendy is a tolerant non-smoker. And this is what she meant. She meant that, well, if we were, say we were on a business trip together, me and my colleagues, including her, and there were smokers along, which there definitely was if there was Liz, then I would choose to sit in the smoking section on the airplane, just to be with them. And you know, I did when smoke bothered my throat, you know, and it bothered my eyes too. But even so, just for the pleasure of being with them on the trip, I would sit there. And suppose we went out for lunch to a restaurant, and we had the choice of sitting in the smoking section or the non-smoking section. And I would know that my friends and colleagues would want to smoke afterwards. And even though that smoke after lunch would bring me a little cough and it would make my eyes run, even still, I would choose to sit in the smoking area just so we could all be together and be comfortable. Yes, I was a tolerant non-smoker. Now, there were people in our organization who wanted to change things, and one of those people was Lydia. One day, Lydia came to my office and she said, Wendy, you know, Wendy, I'm allergic to smoke. It bothers me. It hurts my throat. It makes my eyes water. And I'm just wondering if we could have, and you know, it causes cancer too. And I'm just wondering if we could have a no smoking policy in this office. Well, now that was a revolutionary idea. And so revolutionary that I had to think about it for a day. So when Lydia came back, though, I was ready with my response. I had done an environmental scan like any good manager would. I said, Lydia, you know, you've got some good points. I don't like smoking that much either. And, you know, I have a burn on the back of my nice green dress from where somebody dropped a cigarette ash on it when we were dancing on New Year's Eve. So I don't really like smoking either. But, you know, if you look around, we have clients who come in here, and those clients are very, very nervous. They're very anxious when they come in. And some of them are smokers. And you know, we can't ask them not to smoke when they're in that kind of shape. And you know, if you think about our volunteers, just think of Len. Len does so much of the technical work around here. He fixes our machines. He does all the things that we need to do, the little niggling things that we can't do ourselves and can't afford to do. And you know how Len smokes, and you know how upset he gets when we cross him. I don't think that we could get Len not to smoke in this office. And then there's Dot, who Dot does so much volunteer work, both for the clients and for the staff. And she puts on the tea every Thursday. And Dot just smokes like a chimney, as you know. And you have tried before to convince Dot to do something she didn't want to do. And you know what a miserable experience that is. I don't think, really. Just think of what it would be like to try to get Dot not to smoke. And what's more, we were the CNIB at the time. We sell cigarettes in the hospitals, you know, and that's how we make money. That's how we employ blind people, by selling cigarettes in the hospitals. How would it look if we were selling them in the hospitals and we weren't smoking in this office? But I saved the best for last, in case she wasn't convinced. I said, Lydia, think first thing in the morning when we come in here, what do we smell? We smell the pipe smoke of the senior managers who get to work early and they already start smoking. Lydia, I said, I don't think that we can have a policy of no smoking in this office. You could maybe, if you want, you could make a policy in your office of no smoking. And then if you had clients who wanted to smoke, you could take them to the boardroom or some other room where they could smoke while you deal with them. And then I said the thing that possibly explains how it is that I only got to be a middle manager and am now a storyteller. Even though I would have been hoping, really, that smoking would be stopped, and even though I might have been powerful enough to put my effort towards making it stop. Even though all those things, I looked into the future and I said to Lydia, you know, Lydia, given the evidence, I don't think there'll ever be a time when there'll be no smoking in offices. I must have been sleeping or something, because society was changing all around me. And that big change, that major change of culture and smoking, was very near at hand. And so even though I might have hoped that smoking would be disapproved of in offices, and even though I might have done nothing to push the movement forward, this is sometimes how hope turns out. The world was looking after that for me, and things were going my way. Only at the time, I didn't know it. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. That was absolutely fantastic. And what a happy ending. The perfect story.